What if Naruto was a god and neglected? Part 3, let's go. Their mission was to escort Hazuna, the bridge builder, to his village and then protect him for him to build his bridge. However, the team learns that they were gonna encounter more difficulties than they thought they would on their journey. Team 7 was now sent out on their first C-rank mission with Shira as their team leader. So, they call for backup, and they arrive one day later. Team 7 now had their first interaction with Zabuza, the demon of the mist. Not with Haku though, because Shiro, to be honest, couldn't be bothered to fight. So, basically just went how the normal canon fight, with Kakashi at his disposal. Yes, you heard right, ladies and gentlemen, Haku is a girl. Almost like a dictator, but under aggressive rule. And with money. When Team 6 arrived in the Land of Waves, in the village that Tazuna and Team 6 were staying at, as her mission for her. So Team 6 is sent by Minato himself to help Team 7 on their journey. Shiro gave Naruto a big hug, which surprised everyone. Everybody sits down inside Tazuna's house, and Shiro explains the situation to everyone. Minma, Mito, and Sasuke try to help and fight, but then they left, with Haku supposedly taking Zabuza in. Shiro or Naruto had never really shown their close relationship in public, especially not in the classroom, so no one was really aware of it. Village. Because Tazuna didn't want to lie about the difficulty of the mission any longer, and he told them that there was gonna be likely B or even A-ranked shinobi, some perhaps even Jonin level, due to Gato, a mafia boss that wanted to control the village and stop its trading route. I'll train too, I guess, she says. Because the better chakra control she has, the stronger and more precise her jutsus are. On the next day, Hinata and Naruto train their Shiro as their sensei. Hinata first learns the tree walk and then water walks, to also train her jutsu. And also each clone has more physical strength than a normal shadow clone, which can come in handy for training and fighting. She explains that there are stronger shinobi than expected in the mission, even some Jonin level shinobi. She also suggests that some genin could train, whilst one sensei and perhaps 4 genin guard the bridge. In case something happens, the people training are nearby and ready to help, if needed. However, God-style clones do take up quite a bit of chakra, including her Byakugan and Fist style, which that's enough training for today, since tree walking and water walking takes quite a while, even though Hinata is a fast learner, especially with her Byakugan. This was a surprise to everyone, since no one was expecting anyone to be willing to train with a demon. But in truth, Hinata, whilst she didn't mind Naruto, she didn't hate him as much as everybody else, especially after learning that he's actually not that bad of a guy during the Genin exams with their sensei. First, Shiro volunteers to train, and then Naruto does too immediately after. Then, quietness comes. Whilst everybody wants to train with Shiro, since she's strong, smart, and so on, and beautiful of course, no one wants to train with Naruto. No one. After about 20 seconds of silence, Hinata slowly raises her hand, unsure of the situation. However, then, Shiro has an idea. She knows that there is the Nine Tails inside of Naruto, and they've never really talked about it. But perhaps now would be a good time to go into more detail for Naruto to what he can actually do with this power inside of him. And due to her Otsutsuki being, she can also harness and control the Kyuubi's chakra much easier than a human can. And even without hand seals or jutsus, she can control them with her will. And since she is an Otsutsuki, Shiro knows quite a lot about tailed beasts. I mean, mostly about the 10 tails, which is much stronger than 9 tails, but she still has quite more knowledge than Naruto does. And of course, she was a Jonin, so yeah, comes with the territory. Since the Sage of Six Paths was half Otsutsuki, and Shiro is a full Otsutsuki, so there is some similarities in the chakra, and Kurama hasn't felt just chakra like this in ages. Naruto is so, with 2 quick hand seals, Shiro put Naruto in a genjutsu type sleep, where he woke up in front of a huge cage. This was Kurama, the nine-tailed fox, now ready to try to talk to Kurama and perhaps come to an agreement to work hand in hand. And although that's not the kind of bond that Shiro knew, she knew that it'd be better for Naruto to work together instead of control his nine tails. Each of his clones first do 250 push-ups, including the real Naruto, by the way, since him doing the work with his shadow clones gives about an extra 50% efficiency, which is a lot if you think about it. Then all of them water walk, about 1 kilometer in a circle, keep running, some throw kunai along the way, some do hand seals, etc. Then all of them go back on land and throw kunai at trees and targets that were set up whilst doing backflips, kind of like Shisui and Itachi's training whilst they were younger. He said, "Well, what are you here for then? And what was that chakra I felt?" And of course, Shiro continued with theoretical training, explaining more about the tailed beasts and their chakra. "Well then, I'm willing to comply. I'll give you chakra as I see fit. However, don't expect too much. And don't come begging back to me when you need something, yeah? Alright, see ya." "Father? Is that you?" Kurama asked. "No, I'm sorry to say, I'm not your father. But I am your Jinchuriki. If that's any better." "Oh, I see." Kurama. Shiro kind of shows and lets through her chakra and aura into Naruto and Kurama to make him obey. And it works. Kurama is shocked. This chakra is so strong. Stronger than Madara, one of the strongest people he ever knew. Except for, of course, his father. And this chakra is, for some reason, similar to his father, the Sage of Six Paths, which is also his creator. She can funnel chakra much easier than other people, and has more experience with it. However, since Naruto already knows how to tree walk and water walk, that's nothing for him to train. So he makes a bunch of god-style clones. These are somewhat similar to shadow clones, and have that similar effect where if the clone trains, you get some of that experience, knowledge, power, etc. And whilst he was training one day, this earlier by the way, he realized that he has some type of Keke Genkai, and a unique type of clones that is not written anywhere else. But they're incredible. They're stronger than shadow clones, in the sense that they can resist 3 hits instead of the normal 1 hit. And it doesn't even matter how strong, powerful that hit is. 3 hits, and then the god-style clones go away, not before that. Menman was cocky as ever, and immediately rushed in with a kunai, but immediately was thrown to the ground by Zabuza with 1 quick punch. By just looking at Naruto now, it was kind of weird that everybody hated him, but he was a demon. She had an inner conflict. She kind of liked Naruto, of course as a friend, but at the same time, she was told for years that he's a demon, so it had to be true, right? She wasn't sure, but she couldn't tell anyone for now. And with that, Naruto was kicked out of his own mindscape by Kurama himself. It went kind of successful, I guess. Naruto explained what happened, and Shiro is pretty happy. Kurama and Naruto, even if not as strong or good one, they had some type of bond, and some similarities too. So, they were happy for that. Then Naruto continued with his normal training. At this point, because of his adrenaline, Naruto unconsciously was using some of Kurama's chakra to enhance his clones as well as his own skills. On the second last day, Naruto, Hinata, and Menma and Mito were guarding the bridge with Shiro. At this point, nothing really had happened, so they didn't think there would be much. However, this was the day. At this point, in what seemed like an instant, Zabuza and Haku immediately stood right in front of the team. Not really team. Shiro had now a grim face, and Naruto was ready for a fight to prove himself to everyone. Over their 2 days of training, Hinata and Naruto did bond quite a bit, even though they didn't really talk. They saw each other train, and saw each other's skills, strengths, and weaknesses, which could be very good for teamwork and missions. Especially Hinata, seeing how Naruto trained very much. He was good at what he did, even better than Hinata herself. He was smart, strong, and good looking, if I do say so myself. Kurama let it for now, but wouldn't want to get it out of control, since Naruto is basically a new Jinchuriki. He's not experienced at all. But immediately, Naruto and his clones went in for a fight, some with kunai, some with jutsus, and some just with their fists. Some threw fireballs from the back, some froze the bridge underneath their feet. Naruto, right after that, made clones, so nobody would see. He made about 10 god-style clones, each one spreading out. Some went under the bridge, some went behind Zabuza and Haku, and they were so fast, the other Genin, couldn't even see or sense them. And some seemed to control the weather, throwing lightning, wind, and more, which she did train to do. She senses that both of them are using the skills that they learned. Shiro for now is taking a backseat and wants to see what they do, and wants to see how strong those two really are, and how strong they've gotten. I'm sorry to say that Chakra was only my friend, but I'm here to talk. We haven't talked ever, and it's time. I'm asking you to lend me your power, become one. I can tell you're very strong on your own, and you have potential to become, well, a god of shinobi, as they call him. So why would you need my help? I'm a demon after all, ain't I? Well, I am too, Naruto explains. The village has been hating me for many, many years. Just like they have you. So I guess we have that similar. Well, well, well. If it isn't humans bullying other humans. What a surprise. Mena went in with a kunai once more, and Mito was trying to back him up. However, it was to no ray. With Naruto letting Hinata deal with Haku, this actually seemed to be a somewhat fair fight. Of course, Menma and Mito had to ruin it all again. By the way, in case you're wondering, Shiro purposely didn't call for reinforcements, which would include Shino, Sasuke, and the other Jonin sensei, Kurenai. Hinata using more precise hits in chakra control, and Naruto using some of the Kyuubi's chakra, and more of his clones. Because she knew that the Genin could handle it, especially Naruto and Hinata. And in worst case scenario, Shiro is much more than capable to deal with Zabuza and Haku, even if it is a person that she did not like. Naruto threw a kunai. They were fast and precise. Now all of his clones were heading towards Zabuza, since Haku was still distracted with Hinata, hitting Zabuza's kunai, which then both of them fell to the ground. And this time it was even worse than last time. Zabuza took Mito as a hostage. This was now a bad situation. If he wanted to, Zabuza could end Mito's life in an instant. Even though she didn't like Mito at all, now Shiro was on edge too. She could lose her job, or worse, be expelled from the village. And even if that didn't happen, she would still have very guilty feelings. Zabuza was hit in the shoulder with a kunai and then fell to the ground. Especially with Naruto's tactics and battle smarts, there was no chance for Zabuza. Hired wannabe shinobi beside him. Destroying him was the only way to truly save the Land of Waves. However, Naruto, even though once more he didn't like Mito, somewhat awakened him. Something awakened. Immediately all his clones seemed to coordinate perfectly, even better than before, without Naruto even having to think about it. They were like a mirror of his self. He wasn't out cold yet, but he did take a massive hit. And at this point, Gato came, the mafia boss himself, with what seemed like 50. He had protection alright, and it would be a whole new battle to get to Gato, since although he had a massive sword and could defend himself against a few opponents, Zabuza had no chance against about 10 clones of Naruto, each one powerful enough to take down perhaps a Chunin level. So Naruto, after only having not even completely knocked out Zabuza, immediately with all of his shadow clones headed for Gato, and even made 5 more, since he knew he would need it. It was as if Naruto was weather himself. He controlled natural disasters. It was a fierce battle. But Naruto could not win against Haku and Zabuza together, at least not right now. However, Naruto's aura was unconsciously giving strength to Hinata and Shiro. And yes, a little bit Hinata. Again, not exactly because they had a good friendship, but he liked her much more than anybody else, including his sensei, and so on. So, Hinata gets some strength. So, she can actually do something. She activates her Byakugan and wants to go in for a fist fight with Haku, who's clearly the weaker one. Shiro made sure that Zabuza wouldn't get up again, but he didn't seem to have the will to fight anymore. Hinata was still busy fighting against Haku, but right now, she was winning, and almost finishing the fight, since the only reason he was doing this in the first place was to get paid. But if Gato was now gonna bite the dust, there was no way he was gonna fight more, especially for an inexperienced fighter like Naruto. All of them had pretty different fighting styles, but nonetheless, all 3 of them were very powerful. Killing Intent and the Kyuubi's chakra is finally able to overwhelm the others. However, now being pushed to the limit, with more adrenaline, his aura had also grown stronger every second that it was on. Naruto and his clones took out one henchman after the other, and soon there was only Gato left. At this point, he was almost begging for mercy, until Naruto realized that there are more. These were 3 truly strong shinobi. Not completely on Zabuza's level, but they were definitely low Jonin. Had no will to fight, so they both surrendered. And now, he was about double the speed, and double the strength that he was when he was fighting Zabuza. He was truly a menace. At this point, Naruto was now fighting 3 low Jonin fighters, and this fight lasted longer than all of the 50 henchmen together, since these 3 were truly rather powerful. One had an axe-like weapon, the other a katana, and the other one was just fighting with fists and jutsus. So, she wasn't sure how, but somehow she wanted to be near Naruto. Perhaps go back to the village? Although she was basically a criminal, so that wasn't really an option. But Shiro was willing to comply. Talk to Zabuza. And there it was. Haku and Zabuza are now part of the village. Well, not completely, but Team 6 and 7 are now going back to the village with Zabuza and Haku. And that's where I'm going to leave off the video today. Hope you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace! So now, it was truly just Gato, which he took out with one quick slice of a kunai. With that, the land of waves was saved from Gato, the evil. And now, Zabuza and Haku... And I have to explain this. Naruto's ability with his aura making people around him stronger is actually pretty broken, because whilst it is making somebody like Hinata right now stronger, it actually gets stronger and stronger, like more and more over time. But also, he makes his own clones stronger, and each of his clones makes the others slightly stronger. So, the more shadow clones he uses, / god style clones, even stronger, even if the clones don't do anything. So, right now, he has like 5 times his normal speed and physical strength, plus his clones. So, pretty strong. Menma immediately asked Haku out since he thought she was pretty, but she declined, since the only person she had eyes for was either Zabuza, however, he was rather older than her, or now, Naruto. He was powerful, good-looking, and smart. Everything that she liked, and he made a good impression. And after about 10 minutes, they came to an agreement. Shiro, who was on pretty good terms with Minato and the rest of the village, would put in a good word for them, and say that Haku and Zabuza, whilst they do have a negative background, they only did it for money, and they are pretty powerful, and pledged their allegiance to the village.